Hi, and welcome to
everybody.
Cooking with Constantlay. Sorry we've been on such a hiatus. Life has been so busy. This broad went and got married. I went and got, well, not married, but into several unions with several different individuals for several short periods
Always
of
a
time.
bridemaid, never a bride.
Tell me about it. Anyway, now that we're settled with all that, put the men to sleep, got our stuff in order.
Everybody's tucked in.
It's time for us to film another episode of our delightful cooking show for you. Since we're back from vacation, we're getting into it slowly but surely.
It's fall.
It's fall. We figured let's start out with something a little simple, something every folk at home wants to do, but doesn't quite know how to do. They have, wait, don't shut me up. That they don't, that there's fear around. Us as beautiful, waspy women love a glorious pork chop. Oh, a pork chop for me is just like my mom's way of saying, welcome home, eat some meat.
It's true. Welcome home, eat some meat.
So, today, I told Yvette that we should do this beautiful pork chop, but something that's fall inspired, something nice and herbal, something we can get around here locally sourced for flavoring. So we're gonna do our pork chop. You know what? I'm not gonna get into the deets yet, because before we get into the deets of this beautiful, beautiful piece of meat and how we're gonna delectably sear it,
yes,
we are gonna make ourselves some beautiful cocktails down at the bar.
Let's do that first.
Since
we always need a cocktail first.
Since we're feeling a little 1920s, a little prohibition, if you can't tell from our beautiful attire today, we are gonna make ourselves some great gin martinis.
I love gin.
I love martinis. It's not vodka. Anyway, to the bar we go.
Woo!
Alright, now that we're at the bar, let us make a beautiful gin martini.
Not as beautiful as you are.
Oh no, not as beautiful as you, Yvette.
Thank you. Okay, look at this martini glass. What am I doing?
We have these cute little
bobbies.
martini glass. So, some people believe you should have martinis with olive, as far as olive juice. For me, olives taste like tooth decay. I despise the little bastards. So, I, as a cultured individual, have my martini with a twist of either a lemon or a lime. Today we're doing lemon because, well, I have these kicking around the pantry. That's right. So, I'm going to prep our martini glasses. Get ourselves, so you have a nice little twister at your bar, but for me, I have a standard peeler. And what I do is I get a nice big peel, and I take it, and I rub it on the rim of the glass first, as such. And then what I do, exactly, and then I take it and I give it a little twist, and fold it into the bottom of the glass, and therefore garnishing your beautiful martini glass. I see where your priorities are. So we're gonna make a couple martinis. So your typical martini is about 2.5 ounces of gin and about 1/2 ounce of dry vermouth. You can complement that with some olive juice if you're the type of peasant that likes such things. All right, ease up on the big one. We're gonna have. You know what I'll do? I'm going to portion it out, so I'm going to make 2 little lovely martinis for us to drink and 1 beautiful showpiece martini for looks only, not to be drank, all right?
I think that's great.
Lovely.
Can I say, personally, that for vermouth and me, I just like it if you wave it over the glass. Just walk past it. I don't even need that.
Yeah, she just likes...
But we're going to do vermouth because that's what we're doing.
She just likes gin. That's what she likes. Alrighty, so I'm going to quickly just do yours up, and I know how to portion.
Oh, yeah, squeeze that. Just squeeze it, because it's a plastic bottle of Gordon's. Now, what's your real favorite?
So my favorite gin for a martini, I either like a Ford's gin, a Berkshire Mountain Distillers Ethereal gin.
Ethereal.
Oh, delightful.
The best.
Or
If you're in town, you've got to try it.
if you're a peasant who has neither of these gins in your possession,
Yes.
a Bombay Sapphire will do.
Yes. Also, the blue coat is delicious.
Blue Coat's good.
Really good.
There's another one that I had that was very good.
Something aviation, maybe?
The aviation gin is good.
It's really good.
All right, this is for you. I have very little ice in there to shake for this one. So by the time you're done shaking, you can just dump it right into that big glass. I'm gonna make a couple small ones.
How about some ice? Do we need ice?
There's ice in there.
Great. I don't even hear it though. But it's whatever.
So I am without my usual measuring utensils. So a shot is 1 ounce.
That's like glorious right there.
So I am putting 2 ounces of
Woo!
gin per martini.
This is my favorite show.
Can I have that dry vermouth? Dry vermouth is less is more. You don't really need a whole heck of a lot for a martini. Keep your fingers out of the showpiece, dear. It's not classy. Some of us have class.
Some of us just want to have a cocktail.
You can do a martini shaken or stirred. I prefer shaken because I feel it properly chills the liquor and just makes it a better overall experience.
It's beautiful. As you can see, it's darker. It's later at night. It's bubble time.
Anyway, my dear, cheers
To you.
to you. Now to the kitchen. Some people. You know what? Let's bring that with us to make some pork chops. To share, dear, to share.
Okay. These beautiful cocktails were made by my friend Ronnie. So delicious.
Salute.
It really helped.
Who doesn't love a good gin martini?
Oh, God, it's fresh.
Oh,
Whew. So, pork chops.
on to the pork chops.
These are gorgeous.
So, for flavoring here, my lovely Yvette picked us some fresh rosemary.
garden.
Oh, rosemary and thyme. No strawberries in wine.
We can.
Another moment.
Another day.
And a spin-off of a typical French pork chop recipe that I usually do. I do a lot of apple and onion with my pork chop.
Is that French?
Yeah, enchampé godin. Oh wait, no, that's the French potato. No, wait, no, enchampé godin. That's the pork roast. Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one. So can I
So full
get
of French
can
knowledge,
I,
I just don't always know.
Yeah, it's so French. Can I get some rosemary off the stems here?
I am French Canadian.
Good for you. I'm French as well. Yvette, I mean, come on.
You're more like French.
Like from Rouen.
Yeah,
France.
I'm like what
Canadian, sorry.
Alright, so we're gonna get our rosemary and our thyme off the stem. Then we're gonna dice up these beautiful apples, which were locally sourced. These ones were not from your tree.
Well, can we just say that?
Listen, later this month we're gonna have a recipe sourced from apples from Yvette's tree.
Yeah.
This is a Trader apple. This is from the Price Chopper in the Berkshires. I will just close where.
Local yoko apples.
Well, as she sources her local fruit, I'm going to start prepping some food to get these pork chops.
Yay!
We're also going to do some beautiful salt and pepper, and we're going to
Beautiful.
sear it in our cast iron skillet because a cast iron skillet gives the best flavor into any.
Absolutely. It
anything
also
you make.
adds iron.
It does. I know that I'm not iron deficient. I eat a lot of red meat.
Mama lady, so yum.
Okay. Well, let's get started with that. You know what? Let's just dice up this food real quick, all right?
Yeah, let's.
Look at all this
Nice.
beautifully sliced apple and onions.
Perfectly perfect.
What we're gonna do is, to start, we're gonna brown up our apple and onion in our cast iron skillet.
Yes.
I'm gonna put in a little bit of, I usually do butter because I
French.
love butter. Like Julia Child says, you can never have too much butter. So we'll butter up that. salt and pepper with those apples and onions. Let that brown slowly on the stove. And then once we're done with that, we're gonna pull it out and start searing up our pork chop. But let's get that started real quick. Does that sound good, Yvette?
I'd like to deglaze the pan with a bit of cider or something acid.
I think once we get them browned up a little bit, that sounds like a delightful idea.
And then we can exit that to the pan and then chop.
We have a little bit of apple cider, don't we?
Sure do.
I think that would be the right move. All right, well, let's get this all started.
All right.
And this is why we work together.
This is why we work together.
Roll the clip of us cooking this apple and onion.
Yay! Okay.
Cameron, could you cut the clip?
Cut the clip. Oh, baby, baby. We're sauteing our apples and onions. A little bit of herbs in there because we grabbed them from the thing, from the board. A little butter, salt, pepper. It's gonna be so good. Okay, salt and pepper on one side of a beautiful pork chop. We're gonna put it down in a hot, sizzling cast iron pan. You wanna hear that sound? It's beautiful. While it's down, we're gonna add more salt and pepper. A little pepper, nice cracked pepper. We freshly cracked pepper and put it in the vessel, and there's sea salt in here. We're gonna go ahead and make that. Here we are, beautiful pork chop happening. It really is. Salt and pepper on both sides. Nice and golden. At this point, you can bring it to the oven after the other side is nice and brown and let it finish off so you don't overcook it. You can season, add some herbs.
Are we putting it in the oven? Now that we have browned up all of our pork chops, it's time for us to throw them in the oven real quick. So we just seared at a high temp the outside of all of the chops.
Both sides.
We did bone in, we herbed them, spiced them, seared them, and now it's time to bake them. How long are we gonna bake them, Yvette?
We're gonna bake them for about 10 minutes at 375. It should be good.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes, pork does not need to be perfectly well done, contrary to popular belief.
People had a whole scare with different
We're
things.
gonna actually eat pork medium rare. It's totally fine. However, we're gonna go medium well.
You know, keep it nice and
Yeah,
exciting.
10, 15 minutes. So high temp, 375, 400.
Great.
Okay, I'm deglazing the pan with a bit of apple cider and apple cider vinegar for acid. I'm gonna re-add to the same pan with all the pork juices, all those lovely apples and onions that were translucently sauteed. And we're gonna let that happen. We're gonna make a nice sauce. And to that, we're gonna add a healthy dose of butter. You can also use olive oil if you prefer not to have dairy. We are butter eaters here, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right.
I always have a preference for butter.
Totally. But you know, sometimes olive oil, it's good. If you have a nice first cold pressed olive oil, it's so delicious. You could even cut it half and half. So here it is. This is just going to reduce and make a lovely sauce, and we're gonna pay a little bit of attention to it while the pork's in the oven. This is only gonna take 5 to 10 minutes. So we'll go ahead and let that reduce, and then we'll just shut it off and wait for the pork. Cooking for about 10 minutes solid on high, and it got juicy and then it thickened. You can see all those beautiful juices. The flavor's right. The salt's right. I'm gonna add some fresh herbs. Okay, we have our thyme, and I like it when there's a little stem. It's kind of rustic. And then we have our rosemary, just a real fresh flavor. You know, it's good times. Good times. Are you even looking at this? You big flirt. All right, here we go.
All right. Let's see how our pork chops turned out in the end. You ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, beautiful. Succulent, juicy pork chops.
You're spilling it.
Oh, of course I am.
Of course you are. Fine. We're gonna eat this and
We are.
have some
Eat,
Jen.
pray, and that's mine.
Fine. We're gonna have Jen and pork.
Salute.
Cheers
Well,
to
thank
all.
you so much for tuning in for this week's episode of
Thank
Cooking
you.
with Constantlay.
Because this was a lot.
It's
We
our
love you.
pleasure. It's our pleasure to serve you.
Our autumn pleasure.
Oh, wait, your outfit's changed. Go put on your damn white thing. We gotta do
No,
that
I
again.
had to take it off.
Alright then. Wait, put that back down for a second.
No.
Over here for a quick second.
God damn it.
Until next time, bye!
Bye.